Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. I have an insane replay for you guys today. This is the longest game that I have ever played. We go on to 13 rounds and this game has it all. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. I'm playing against Lord, who starts out with Aerial Specialist, Arclight, Stormcallers, and I will be playing on the blue side, starting out with Arclights, Steel Balls, and Heavy Armor Spec. So right away I decide, I want to try and play aggressively here, especially into the Stormcallers. I don't want to play standard and give them enough time basically to fire at all my units. I want to get in, get the turret, and get rid of these units as fast as possible, close the distance, and get safe from those rockets. My opponent has got Aerial Specialists, but decides to pick up some Fangs instead. Definitely a solid option here, and if he expects me to go aggressive, which is likely, Fangs will do a good job at least at slowing this advance and giving time to his units to deal some damage. I of course pick up some Crawlers. I have to say my positioning here isn't ideal. I should have basically staggered, so not putting my steel balls behind the crawlers, because the Stormcallers fire at the crawlers, miss the crawlers, and then hit the steel balls behind. Although right here it still looks like it's working well enough. The crawlers got in on the left side, got the Stormcallers, we get the turret. Let's have a look here at what we can do. As soon as these steel balls get in range, it means that the Stormcallers can no longer target them. They're in their dead zone, and that means round one should go to me. Let's just wait here for the final Stormcaller to die. Close round though. Just a Crawler and a Steel Ball surviving on my side. But it is enough to level one of the Steel Balls, so that can be scary for my opponent. Leveled Steel Balls already on round 2 are quite hard to deal with. Missile Strike is somewhat appealing here. I do have decent targets for it, and usually you won't see an immediate shield, so that would help winning another round. Missile Device Specialist also makes sense for my opponent. If he places it well, like around the turret for instance, the crawlers might die and it might hit these Steel Balls, and Missile Device Sentry missiles deal 15,000 damage, which is more than enough to deal with steel balls, even up to level 3. More Arclights picked up, as well as Fangs for my opponent. I decided to pick up more Crawlers, and I chose the Haste Module card on some Mustangs, rather classic, and also deciding to put some Crawlers on the flank here, as this tower is open. Crawlers have been leveled. The reason I did this is because leveled crawlers don't immediately die to Arclight shots, so they can get much closer and cause distractions. Missile Device does go off, but I didn't choose to upgrade my steel balls here. I didn't have the money for it, so not too much of a lost investment there. We still get the tower. Looks like the crawlers on the flank are doing their thing. They got the tower, and now they can get to work on these Stormcallers. And that will greatly help out, because otherwise they might have taken out all of my remaining units. Couple stray Fangs going for the tower, but they do get caught. And round 2 also goes to me. Charge Demo, really good card, especially if I want to go for more Mustangs. Yes, I do pick it up, and same for the opponent. And here I'm just completing Steel Ball Mustang packs. I've got some decent items early on, but I am already kind of thinking this might get hard. Yes, opponent does pick Charge Shot. This is one of the classic counters to these type of pushes. They deal well with the crawlers, they deal well with the steel balls when they have the increased attack, and they can also then take out the Mustangs afterwards. So already I'm kind of thinking I'm probably going to need to shift my attention, which is why I'm putting my units here on the other side. Try and go for the other tower now, because I'm expecting him to invest even more into this side. I'm kind of trying to, yeah, to split my attack right now because I have my doubts as to whether I'll be able to get in and get this left tower for much longer. I'm staggering my units here because of the Stormcallers, so what I didn't do at the start, I'm trying to make up for now by making sure that the Steel Balls and the Mustangs are not one behind the other, because shooting at the Steel Balls, they might hit the Mustangs, which would be a disaster. I did level my Steel Balls, so they are still very hard to deal with. 10,000 HP, well over that with the heavy armor. So they do manage to get in, but as you can see, it's starting to become more of a problem. Mustangs are helping out, but looks like I might just about fail to get this tower. An Arclight will take out my final Mustang, so Lord turning things around on round number 3, and this is what I was kind of scared of. So in my mind, I'm already starting to shift. Okay, like this clearly isn't going to work. He got his answer really early, and I think I will struggle if I continue down this road. What can I do? Now, Top Supply Specialist is being offered in round 4. It is a very, very powerful card, even though Laser Sights is tempting on Mustangs. I also decided to go Top Supply because in my mind I think, okay, I'm not going to be able to outvalue Top Supply because we're both still sitting at 4.1k hit points. I'm not going to be able to end this quickly, so I will need that Top Supply because this game might go long if I decide to pivot and go for something different. And here you can already see I'm starting to do that. I pick up Stormcallers because it's good against all of his units right now. And I decide not to invest much more into ball stand combos. I'm happy with what I have. I will leave it on the board because it's good at distracting and can do some damage, but I need to start pivoting. Now my opponent, by the way, did unlock Wraiths. Hasn't bought them yet, but they are unlocked. Always nice to unlock things if they're free. He's aerial spec, so he can just unlock the aerial units if there's nothing else he wants to get, and if he wants to use it, he has it available to him. Mustang pack on the left did get leveled this turn because I do believe in the strength of leveled Mustangs still. But I might start to pivot into something different, right? Start pivoting out of the Steel Balls and replace them with something else. Stormcallers are definitely doing a good job here, although now it's Stormcaller v Stormcaller. We probably still lose, but we're dealing decent damage. Only a couple units surviving. And already round number 5. Lord decides to pick up the extended range Arclight, and I decide to pick up Shield Device. I didn't really like any of the other options. Senior Defense isn't that valuable to me yet. I don't have any big units, so it just doesn't seem worth it, and I want to pivot out of this. And Shield Device can just be nice, especially if the game goes late. Having the additional HP on the shields is definitely valuable. And here we do see the Wraiths come out for Lord. Double Wraith with Field Maintenance also. Trying to out-heal, I guess, the Mustangs. Although these are level 2 with the haste module. And these have got electromagnetic interference, basically. Or, well, charged ammo. So this will immediately disable the tech if it locks on. And it likely will, because Wraiths have got so little range that they will often be targeted quite quickly. Sentry missiles being placed here. I wonder if this will go onto the Mustangs. It probably would have hit if it's all the way in the corner. But here it might still go for the crawlers. We'll have to see. If it does, that's very good for me because it means 2 sentry missiles go on that. I decide to pick up more Stormcallers and I go for high explosive ammo. definitely good versus fangs and can also help out. Yep, so the 2 missiles go for the crawlers. That is lucky for me. He would have been able to take out these mustangs, but the positioning is just slightly off. Wraith, though, still able to deal with all those mustangs alongside the leveled arc lights. And now it's just Stormcallers left. We did take out the other Wraith on the left side, so at least we'll save ourselves some hit points there. And hopefully we can take out the remaining arc lights. And that looks like one... Maybe that goes down? It does. So Wraith and Arclight surviving. Still no big deal. Relatively healthy. Senior Attack looks tempting. It is a very nice card whenever you go for Mustangs. Will I go for that? I don't know. Parasitic, also very strong, especially into Stormcallers. Can create a lot of problems. And that holds true especially when opponents go for Incendiary Bomb Stormcallers, because the spawned crawlers may attract some of the rockets, and then you have fire on your own side of the board, which is really annoying. I decide to go for Senior Attack, however. The nice thing is it synergizes well with Mustang carries. It also deals, or well, makes up for the lost attack, because I did go for High Explosive. So certainly valuable. And here is where I start to pivot. So I have sold my steel balls. Last turn I sold one. This turn I sold the other one. And I am buying double overlords and already deciding to go for mothership. I saw the wraiths come out, and overlords are quite powerful versus that. Also, all of his other units cannot hit air units. So the Tech Arclights don't have the option to target air. He doesn't run it. The Fangs, I mean, I don't think he'll be playing carry Fangs. He's using them as chaff. And then the Stormcallers can't shoot air either. So pivoting to air here seemed like the logical decision. And I also decide to pick up 2 shields. My opponent goes for the oil. So we might see the fire being teched next round to set this ablaze and burn all my Mustangs. There is some AMs on the side of Lord, which are also shooting these missiles from the overlords out of the sky. But we do get one. Do we get the other? I think it will survive. Yeah, it does survive, but at least we got one, so some small economic wins for us here. And that is quite a big round. Double Giant surviving always deals good damage. Senior Manufacturing could be worthwhile if I want to go for more overlords. And otherwise, improved firepower control system looks quite tempting as well. Incendiary Bomb is okay, but I think the other ones are just better overall in the long run, rather than going for the immediate value. Although Lord decides to go for Incendiary Bomb, doesn't need to tech into Fire Upgrade, and can just carpet bomb the whole board if he wants to, but instead goes for the fire on one side and leaves the oil here. Wraiths now double upgrade, also get the range enhancement, and with aerial spec they're up to 100 range, so not too terrible actually, almost the same range as the overlords. And they are quite tanky. They are quite tanky, right? With the additional health from field maintenance up to 20,000 HP. I decided to go for another overlord, and I did go for senior manufacturing, by the way. And here is where I start buying wasps. So the idea I was going for is I expect him to go phoenixes into my overlords, and that's why I also went for mothership, because it's going to create problems for him. So I buy 2 more overlords, put them on the flank, level 1 other, and also buy some wasps here at level 2 immediately with aerial spec. Because I expect him to shift to the skies as well. Phoenixes are generally good at dealing with these type of heavy air units, whether they be Wraiths or Overlords. And the Wasps can definitely help out with regards to diverting some of their shots. Flank was dealt with though, but you know, with the spawn in time, that was kind of to be expected. Phoenixes are doing a good job here, and this round does go over to my opponent. But I'm still in the process of setting up, right? So this isn't too bad. We don't lose an insane amount of hit points. Both of us sitting around 2,500-ish. So definitely nothing to be worried about. Opponent actually picks mass-produced wasps. For me, that's not a good card because I want to go carry wasps. So that would be a bit of a waste considering I also invested into wasps already. And none of this actually looks that good. I'm not going for fangs. Barrier doesn't make sense. I'm not really focusing on ground units and deployment module. It's okay. If I want to move this from the flank, I could pick it. And otherwise, I think skipping is also fine. Even more Wraiths picked up, and this one has been leveled already to level 3. Same with the one that is carrying the parasitic ammo. I don't think it's been doing all that much, however. 27 units killed, it's not insane. And it doesn't look like the crawlers have been that much of a problem for me anyway, so relatively decent for me. I think I do skip. Yeah, I do skip, and I pick up 3 packs more of wasps and decide to give them range enhancement now as well. So they're up to 90 range. Get the temporary range too, 105. Now, this is less than the Wraiths on my opponent's side, but keep in mind, I do have aerial spec. So when these are firing at the Wraiths, they actually get 30 more, which means that they outrange the Wraiths by 20. And I mean, these Mustangs with range are doing quite well too. Disabling all those techs on the Wraiths is certainly helping out. And look at these Wasps. They're really starting to come online. I've been thinking about these upgrades, and I can probably get rid of Energy Shield, to be honest. I feel like this is more of a tech if you want to create flanks with them or have them be annoying chaff in the air for like a round or two to finish the game. I might want ground specialization here because it can really help out if you're facing things like Mustangs and deal with them a bit quicker. But I have to say I do like the carry upgrades rather than the supportive upgrades. I haven't been playing wasps that much, but when I do, I think playing them carry-wise is perhaps like the best way to try them out. Photon coating is shown. Strike specialist could be okay if I want to go for another flank, and the other two are kind of useless right now. But I could definitely pick up photon coating here and, you know, make sure that my army is a bit tankier. If I want to skip, that's also possible. Of course, I could just get photon emission on my boats. And have the benefit of that effect every single round, but I do decide to pick it up. Wasps are now being leveled. And honestly, I should be selling this Overlord right now. It doesn't seem to be doing all that much. Opponent did tech wasps with shields, so it's just going to get stuck and die and feed XP. So a little bit of a mistake here if I don't sell it. Even more wasps being picked up. And I also decide to tech fire. And by the way, I actually sold my Mustangs on this side as well. Realizing that they are a bit too far forward and just dying quickly. I'd rather have the haste module onto something else, and I probably, yep, I put it on the wasps instead. With these upgrades, they are kind of outperforming the Mustangs, and I don't need to have both of them. And it'll be interesting to see if I decide to do the same with these Mustangs. Of course, I did tech range on them at some point, so there's a bit of a loss of investment there. But I think just shifting entirely towards air units here makes sense. Some very high level Phoenixes on my opponent's board. But luckily I've got plenty of wasps left and they annihilate the tower, leaving a fair amount of units alive. And Lord is now down to 800 hit points. Orbital and Lightning Storm are shown. Both of these are kind of horrible for me to deal with because I can't possibly protect all of my air units from these type of actives. But then again, kind of the same applies to my opponent, I guess. He's got a lot of wraiths. He's got some wasps. So it's definitely a good pickup for me too. There is Mustangs now on the other side with air specialization. This does make sense. It's the best answer against this many wasps. We'll have to see if he decides to pick up even more. And I actually thought here he's probably going to go for Orbital or for the Storm. And if he does so, he probably does it on this side because it has the scariest amount of wasps. The highest level wasps. These ones have an item too. And then there's the Mustangs. So I decided to beacon these over to the other side and kind of gamble, saying I think he will orbital me on this side, and I'd rather try and save this pack because it's level 4. I also now tech them with elite marksmen, so they are quite valuable to me. And looks like that will work out. Oil is back off cooldown too. And yep, even more Mustangs picked up here for Lord, also giving them range, so they properly outrange all of my air units now. Wasps are doing a decent job though. It's kind of crazy like how well this is going. I say that, but Wasps or the Mustangs here are kind of annihilating. Although we do manage to get some of these pesky AMs. Looks like both of them went down on that side. And my Stormcallers are able to take out most of the Mustangs. But the right side unfortunately lost. Couple air units and a couple Stormcallers stay alive. And that should mean the end of the round. So Lord is hanging in there. And this is starting to get a bit scary for me because Wasps into Mustangs I don't think is a matchup that is ever winning. I would have to get a lot of levels and a lot of extra range from Elite Marksman for this to work out. So yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay in this. Improved firepower control system. I do pick it up. My opponent instead goes for the speed spec, trying to close the distance, close the gap, and get rid of those get rid of those wasps using the Mustangs as fast as possible. And I instead go for the damage item, putting them on the level 4 wasps. So these are starting to get somewhere. 122 base range. Against air units, it's plus 30. And I can also get the range enhancement, of course, for an additional 15. So they are kind of becoming wasp snipers. And yeah, this is kind of what I was dreading. War Factory is now picked up. It's so late that, you know, we all have so many supplies at the start of every round. He could just buy 2 and also get the Missile Interceptor. This is good against all my Stormcallers, which I'm relying on to deal with his Mustangs, and it's also good versus the boats I have because their shots can also be targeted by the AMs. I kind of expect it though, so this is why I pick up triple melting points to disable some techs, but also to preemptively deal with war factories because that was the logical decision to make. and hoping that this can have some effect. Again, the problem is that electromagnetic barrage can also be shot out of the sky. So hitting these will be quite tough. And maybe I should have gone for range instead. Just try and lock onto this as early as possible. Although I have got these Mustangs there on the side. I didn't sell them. And the charged ammo is actually doing a lot of work. Like, look at that. Immediately goes down. And I have to say, I'm kind of impressed at how much damage these Mustangs are dealing. Look at that. I mean, they're being debuffed now, but good lord, that's not even ground spec. That's just wasps at a high level. Dealing with those massive giant units. Massive giant units? I mean, I guess they are kind of, right? Like super giants. The war factories. We get a wraith as well. Very good. Saving ourselves some hit points. And this is kind of close. I mean, all the missile interception is gone, so we might be able to get rid of all those Mustangs. Phoenixes will stay alive, but again, round 11, and we still don't have a winner here. We still don't have a winner. Only 300 damage taken for me. Down to 1600. Ion Blast is available. Both of us do pick it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to hit. If you can hit some of these wasp packs, that'll destroy, well, most of my damage. And here I'm really starting to wonder, like, what can I do? I need to somehow disable the tech on those war factories, but how do I do that? How do I do that reliably? It is a bit of a conundrum. And with the amount of Mustangs that he currently has, I'm starting to feel like more and more worried. I mean, I will need to level all of these wasps. Getting the additional damage plus range is crucial to have them stay alive for longer. I decide to use, let's see. Let's see. I'm always a bit hesitant with like how to position these. I want to try and hit the wraith, especially the one with parasitic. Even though it's not doing that much, I think it's the most valuable thing to hit. And I could also hit some of these Mustangs because there are far more on this side than on the right side. Opponent goes for steel ball production now as well. Interesting. And I pick up, I believe, did I pick up more wasps? Finally sold the Overlord on this side as well. I think maybe even last turn. And I go for some Phoenixes with EMP here. Unfortunately, my opponent does pick up more Fangs to try and stop that. But I thought I positioned them all the way in front to try and hit those war factories if he didn't put the chaff there. And actually, it looks like it worked. I mean, the Phoenix died now, but did hit. And now the Mustangs are also targeting it. Melting point level 2 has locked on. And so the war factories are going down. Again, my tower does perish, unfortunately, because I have got barely any ground units left to protect. So all of those steel balls, those crawlers, all they go for is my storm crawlers and then straight to the tower. And that is, ooh, 200 damage. I mean, luckily I managed to kill enough units to stay alive, but this is going to be a crucial round. I do get advanced firepower control system. Quite lucky. That will help out tremendously with these wasps. Here, I'm just looking. Okay, which one did most? Looks like it's this pack. 135 damage last round, so I'll give it to them. Photon coating is back off cooldown as well. That's not good news for me because it means that the missile interceptors will stay alive for the entire duration of 16 seconds that the photon coating lasts. So yeah, EMP won't be working for that amount of time. And here I purchased even more giants. So we have melters, we have overlords, but now we also have Vulcans with range and incendiary. The reason I go for this is because the problem I'm facing is these pesky Mustangs at the back. So I decided to put the Vulcans slightly behind my units and hope that these get in range, or either the Vulcans to target them directly with the additional range, or for them to basically, well, go into the fire That being said, this is also something that can get shot out of the sky, so maybe it's not that worth it, but I'm kind of throwing Hail Marys here, hoping to overload the missile interception and that something can get through. Every small, you know, amount of damage can help in this final round. And I have some money to spare, so why not buy even more triple upgraded wasps? And here we go. Round 13. This has been quite the battle, but it's likely going to be the final push. And it looks like the Vulcans are positioned very well. They're able to deal with those crawlers, and they're not getting stuck on the war factories, which are now going down to the melters. And look at that. I mean, they did well. Look at the fire as well, burning stangs. We're getting to tower on this side. Everything died, and that will be the winning round for us. And rather convincing one too. Rather convincing one too. I think the fire and the Vulcans there last round definitely did their work. And the wasps are just, I mean, every single pack of these are dealing so much damage every round. They're really scaled. And luckily I managed to get rid of their counters quickly, which they weren't upgraded. So maybe that could have helped out, although it wouldn't have increased their range. But it might have helped take out these a bit sooner. But of course, you need to invest into a lot of things. The Wraiths were also now triple upgraded with the floating artillery as well. The only problem is that my Wasps were outranging them by this time. I mean, level 5 Wasps, 145 base range with the tower range as well. And then plus aerial spec really meant that these were getting, well, they weren't getting shots in as fast as these were. And I mean, 300,000 damage almost from this pack of wasps that got the advanced firepower control system in the final round. Absolute monsters. Yeah. Either way, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I sure did. I have to, well, thank Lord for this entertaining game. I feel like every time I play him, we get into some kind of crazy crazy battle with all kinds of different units, and this one was no different. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Maybe you can take something away from this. I have to say, I don't think carry wasps are that good, but situationally they can work out. So this is one of those highlight games where they do. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a like. Comment down below what you thought of the game, or if you have any additional things that you'd like to say. Check me out on Twitch if you want to see me playing live. And with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.